Welcome back to our channel. In today's episode, we'll be talking about a deeply troubling issue that continues to persist in India: manual scavenging. Despite repeated bans, judicial orders, and legislative measures, this inhumane practice remains a grim reality, endangering lives and reinforcing social inequalities. In fact, recent incidents have once again exposed the sheer negligence of the government towards its eradication. Let's dive into the issue in more detail. To begin, let's take a quick look at the laws and policies aimed at banning manual scavenging. It all started with the employment of manual scavengers and construction of dry latrines, Prohibition Act of 1993, which was the first attempt to curb this practice. But, due to weak enforcement, it failed to create real change. Then, in 2013, came the Prohibition of Employment as Manual Scavengers and their Rehabilitation Act, a much more comprehensive law. This law criminalized the practice of manual scavenging, providing provisions for rehabilitation, protective equipment, and alternative employment. Violators faced hefty fines of 5 lakh rupees and imprisonment. The Supreme Court, too, has been vocal. In 2014, it declared manual scavenging a violation of fundamental rights under Article 21, the right to life. In 2023 and 2024, the court continued to slam the government, demanding compensation for families and better implementation of its orders. However, the harsh reality is that these laws and court rulings have done little to stop the deaths of manual scavengers. Just last month, in February 2024, 3 workers in Kolkata lost their lives while cleaning sewers without any safety gear. Similarly, in January 2024, a father and son died in Bengaluru while cleaning a drain, again, with no protective equipment. Tragedy has struck in Tamil Nadu too, where 2 men suffocated inside a sewer in Chennai due to exposure to toxic gases. Over 80 manual scavengers have died in India in the past year alone, despite all these legal protections in place. So, what's going wrong? Well, the government continues to shift the responsibility onto the states, citing sanitation as a state subject. This has allowed state governments to misuse legal loopholes and claim that manual scavenging doesn't exist. Bureaucratic inefficiency, lack of accountability, and failure to provide mechanized alternatives only worsen the situation. The promises of rehabilitation and compensation remain largely unfulfilled. Workers are still forced to work in hazardous conditions, often without any support from the government or their employers. Another disturbing aspect of this issue is the caste-based discrimination it perpetuates. Manual scavenging is largely carried out by marginalized communities, especially those from the scheduled castes. This reinforces caste-based hierarchies, where these workers remain trapped in degrading and unsafe jobs. In fact, 40% of districts in India still report the practice of manual scavenging, and the death toll from this continues to rise, with 75 to 80 deaths every year due to toxic gas inhalation and accidents. One of the biggest challenges is the loopholes in the law itself. There's a critical distinction between manual scavenging and hazardous cleaning, a loophole that some states exploit to avoid legal scrutiny. Workers are often labeled under hazardous cleaning, even when they are performing tasks that clearly fall under manual scavenging, escaping the penalties. Despite clear directives from the Supreme Court, mechanization is still not being implemented. The court had ordered the use of machines and protective gear, but it remains absent in many places. And compensation for the families of deceased workers? It's rare and often delayed. So, what can we learn from other countries? Well, countries like the UK, the US, Japan, and Singapore have shown us that it is possible to eliminate manual scavenging by combining strict legal enforcement with technological innovation. In the UK, for instance, the Health and Safety at Work Act of 1974 mandates that no worker should enter confined spaces without proper safety measures. In the US, advanced sewer inspection technology has almost completely eliminated the need for manual labor. Japan has smart sewer systems and AI to predict and prevent blockages, and Singapore uses pneumatic waste disposal systems, completely eliminating the need for manual cleaning. So, what's the way forward for India? First and foremost, there needs to be strict enforcement of the laws. Officials who allow manual scavenging should face criminal prosecution. We also need independent monitoring to ensure that data isn't manipulated and that the right action is being taken. Mechanization must be made mandatory for sewer cleaning, and urban local bodies should be penalized if they fail to comply. The government must also provide financial and social rehabilitation for those affected, timely compensation, skill development, and alternative employment. And of course, the judiciary needs to stay active, ensuring that the states are complying with the Supreme Court's orders. Let's hope that with political will, administrative commitment, and public accountability, we can put an end to this horrific practice once and for all. To sum up, manual scavenging continues to be a stark reminder of the social injustices embedded in our system. The persistence of this practice, despite legal measures and judicial intervention, reflects a systemic failure that must be addressed immediately. Thanks for watching. If you found this video insightful, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more updates on pressing social issues. And let's continue the conversation in the comments below.